Haman, we want to foil his plans. And if we give nice things to other people, that destroys his plans of doing evil. And to honor the people, the family and friends that we give to. And what's the third one?
Spread the love, right, Susie? Number 2. Yes, number 3 is Manot Laivyonim. It really means make a conscious decision and effort to make donations directly to people who experience poverty. For example, there would be, back in the day, the tent would be opened and food would be given every year to those who need it. And those donations are often made in honor of Esther and Mordecai, because she, of course, Esther, saved the Jewish people.
Oh, yes, that's true. That really is the key. And then the fourth one is, the fourth mitzvah is, of course, the commandment that you must read the Megillah. That's the book of Esther. And this is a very important commandment because she's the woman,
yes,
who did it all.
We have to know her.
And now we'd like to introduce Douglas Ridloff. And he's going to tell a story, sign a story. So Sophia, could you show us Doug?
We will turn off our cameras for the video.
This is really fascinating.
This is a fascinating story. You will enjoy it.
Oh, yes. It's an example of how the Jewish people really found a way to make their place in history. And we do these commandments every year, and we read the story and pass this along. And that's what our community is like and why it's so valuable. We're ready for the video.
Yes. Esther herself was an amazing shero, brilliant woman. Without Esther, we don't know what would have happened to the Jewish people. We'll find out some more details as we go on tonight. That will blow your hair back.
Every time I celebrate this event, I learn so much about Judaism and like Jewish Deaf Congress, Jewish Deaf organizations. They're so important and so valuable to our communities. And this is how we keep our heritage alive.
I agree.
And I'm honored to be here with you, Rav Ellen.
My honor, right back with you.
We'll chat a little bit more after the video.
We're trying to get this video started, but a little bit more about Esther. Really, her story really inspired me, because every year when you read the Megillah about her, I learned more about her. And the following year, I come to a deeper understanding. And she was really an incredible person in our history and a role model for all of us.
Yes,
So I hope
really
the
is.
video is going to work. And
we have other role models, but not so much like her.
That's true. We do have many role models.
We have a full program, and we'll learn about more women.
Now women are the focus. For this 24 hours, we're the focused. Focus. So we're going to take our time. We're going to enjoy our time, our 24 hours. Let's see what's happening with the video here. It's a wonderful video that Doug Ridloff made about Esther. Part cartoon, part real life filming. We would like to see that.
Hi, Sophia. You with us? I think there's some difficulty with hooking it up. Hold on, I'm going to fix something. Hold on just for a second.
No, no problem. We can wait. Technical difficulties, no problem.
Do you want us to turn off our cameras? We're just going to go ahead and what are we going to do? I think what we'll do is we'll talk about other famous Jewish women in the Torah. Should we go ahead
Yes.
and do that?
Who would you like to talk about? Miriam or Deborah?
I'm flexible. I'm going to talk about Miriam
Okay.
because I know a lot more about her. And I really could talk about her all day. She's related to our story of Passover. That's where we learn about Miriam. And she's an amazing woman. What she did was go to her father, Amram. Sophia, did you have a question? Or I can see you.
Are you ready with the video?
For Doug Ridloff? It's freezing, it's not working.
Okay,
Can we move on and jump to something else? Yeah,
absolutely.
sure, no problem. Let me turn off that video. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll start again. Miriam's father is Amram. The Pharaoh at that time in Egypt commanded that all the firstborn males had to be killed. It was gut-wrenching. It was horrible. So Amram, what did he do? He left his wife.
He told all Jewish men to leave their wives.
Thank you. And that way that no babies would be born and they wouldn't have to be killed. So he left his wife. And all Jewish men followed him. And Miriam said, Dad, please, you're making it worse. It's worse than what Pharaoh's doing. Pharaoh's punishing the men, but you're punishing both women and men. What?
Hold, Susie.
I can't see Susie anymore.
Sorry about that, technical difficulties, but go ahead, Susie's saying.
Okay, okay.
Excuse me.
Thank you so much for the brief story of Purim, but very, very clearly explained.
It was beautifully done.
At this point, we'll wrap up what we're doing and I'll go back, but I want to talk about Miriam, go back to Miriam's story. So all the men went back to the women, and as a result of that, Moses was born. Miriam saved him from the reeds, and the Jewish people were saved. And so that was really Miriam's role in the Jewish religion.
Yes.
And I want to talk about Doug's story. It was amazing. We party, we eat, we enjoy each other. It's a great holiday.
And we're alive. We
And,
rejoice
you
in
know,
being
we can't do
alive.
anything without food. So I'm curious now, what's your favorite food?
Me? Oh, Japanese food is my
Oh, me
favorite.
too. Perfect. Why is it? We have a great video for hamantaschen is her favorite food.
Oh,
We have a video of hamantaschen making, which is a great Purim tradition.
it's a wonderful video that explains how we can make my favorite food, hamantaschen.
Sophia,
Let's
are you
watch
ready?
that now. Thank you. Hi, my name is Tracy Ratner. I'm on the board of the Jewish Deaf Congress, JDC. Proud to introduce my husband, Stephen. We have 2 daughters, and when they were growing up, Stephen always made hamantaschen during Purim. They are cookies, and when they were growing up, they loved them. There's many different recipes out there in cookbooks, on the internet. So where we get our recipe is from a wedding gift that was given to us 40 years ago when we were married. This summer, it'll be our anniversary. So this book is much cherished and very old. The Spice and Spirit of Kosher Jewish Cooking. There's a few recipes for hamantaschen in this book, but the one Stephen uses is sweeter hamantaschen. He sometimes is very creative in his cooking. I'm a recipe follower, but he tends to be very creative. And there's many different fillings that you can put in your hamantaschen. Tonight, we're going to use almond. I tend to buy this brand, Solo Almond Filling. It's my favorite. Also, you can use prune, poppy seed, chocolate curd, Nutella. My mother used jam in hers. So it's really up to you, whatever you would like to fill your hamantaschen with. There's not a rule that you have to follow with regard to fillings. You can also fill them with a variety of things. So this we're going to show you how we make everything. But I tend to be organized and have all these ingredients listed on the screen in front of us, measured and ready for us to cook. And here's the directions. Okay, because everything is ready, this mug we tend to use as kind of the cookie cutter. We'll show you later. Stephen says, I always start with the liquid first. I mix up the liquids first, and then I add the dry ingredients, the flour, the salt at the end. That's the sugar. You know, it helps your teeth, right? Stephen's a dentist, by the way. So make sure after you eat a hamantaschen, you make sure you brush your teeth. As I said, he doesn't follow the recipe exactly. He's more creative. Sugar, the oil. Stephen says, I don't put it in all at once, the flour. I put in a little bit at a time, mix it through, and then add more. The almond is ready. The oven is ready. It's preheated to 350 degrees. So the temperature is perfect, ready for the cookies. Stephen said this dough is a little sticky, so he wants to add some more flour. He is not satisfied with the texture. Now it's better. And that's what it should look like. You're ready for the mess? Stephen asks. Tracy explained you have to sprinkle the flour on the counter before you press out the dough and flatten it. And you want to make sure to use your rolling pin, but make sure that flour is used liberally, and then the cookie cutter. Sometimes we spray the cookie sheet. Sometimes we use parchment paper. So now they go in the oven. And if you worry about how to shape the Hamantaschen, it's a challenge at first, but with practice, you'll get better. These will cook for 20 minutes in a 350-degree oven. Now the Hamantaschen are fully baked, and this is what they look like. Thank you, Stephen, for helping us teach everyone to make Hamantaschen. Now, some Hamantaschen don't look perfect. They don't have to be works of art. It's important that you have fun making them. That's what's crucial. And some have almond fillings, so we do use that. And we made 4 with chocolate because we ran out of the almond. So when Purim starts this evening, March 16th, 2022, we will be having our Hamantaschen, and for 24 hours. Have fun making these and have fun celebrating, dressing up in costume. Happy Purim, everyone. Thank you. I say the same. Love you. Woo, wonderful.
Fantastic. Now I'm hungry. I'm sure you
Good
all
job. Now I want their
But
Hamantaschen.
you know, I noticed something. Every great chef is a woman. It's amazing. Because it's National Women's Month. With that, I know Ellen wants to explain a little bit about Queen Esther. As a rabbi, do you have anything else to add to that story and talk about her?
Yes, I would like to. Really, Esther was married. She saved the Jewish people, but there's more to the story. Because in Persia, during the Babylonian times, which is now Turkey, not Babylonia, Jewish people lived there for hundreds of years. From Jerusalem, they moved to Babylonia. And these are stories from the Talmud. So the king kicked them out of their country. And so all the women had to obey their husbands. And in the town this town was famous for its beautiful women. So then the king visited and picked the most beautiful women of all. And of course, that was Esther. There's more behind that story. He had dinner with each woman. He didn't just go on their looks alone. And then he winnowed it down. It was like speed dating. He'd have dinner, he'd chat, he'd go on to the next woman until he had dinner with Esther. They had a fascinating discussion, and she proved her brilliance, and he was touched and inspired and fell in love. And she was intelligent because she was brought up as an educated woman in a Jewish household. She learned the Torah. She knew how to think. She had a wealth of knowledge and information and wisdom. And she was able to not only fascinate the king, but she married him and convinced him to save the Jewish people. So I always want to give my hat off, doff my hat to Queen Esther for saving us.
Thank you for adding to that story. Every time we tell the story, there's actually more and more to add. We learn more depth in the Megillah. So thank you for that.
That's so true. And I would like to add one more important fact. Because of her, we have the Talmud. The Jewish people started to write the stories down, and it became a book, 27 volumes or more. I can't even remember how many volumes of Talmud there are. But if those were destroyed, the Talmud was gone. If the Jewish people were destroyed, that Talmud would have been destroyed. So that's part of our history, our stories.
So I think one other takeaway from this story is that it's really important to keep telling our history. We have amazing people in our history. And now I'd like to invite Vicki Hurwitz to talk about some amazing deaf Jewish women. Vicki, let's look at her video. Hi, welcome.
Hi, Vicki.
We're very
Welcome.
glad that you're with us tonight.
Hi, everybody. Beautiful storytelling, both of you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We're going to turn our videos off and let you proceed.
Love you both. Okay. First, before I get started with the slides, I'd like to introduce myself. They did mention I was Vicki. I'm from Surprise, Arizona. That's where I live with Alan, my husband. The story of Purim and Queen Esther reminds me of my childhood. We would dress up in costume, and I would dress like Queen Esther every year. That's all I wanted to do, dress like Queen Esther. I wish I could do that today. Next time we celebrate Purim, I'm going to dress like her. I will talk briefly about two Jewish deaf women, Claire Bergman and Dr. Roz Rosen, this evening. Both have had a huge impact on my life, especially in my 30s, especially my middle 30s. Do you mind showing the first slide, Sophia? Great. Thank you, Sophia. Now, this is Claire Bergman. She was born in New York City in 1944. Whoops. She's just fixing just a second. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Sophia. She went to an oral school and Washington High School, Thomas Mann, and her middle name was Esther. What a perfect match that Claire should be named Esther and that we are talking about her on Purim. I always saw Claire as a strong but soft and gentle woman. She really cared about art and people, and she drew people to her wherever she went. Please show the next slide. Because of her strength and her skills with sketching, she was admitted to Pratt Institute School of Art. And my husband, Alan and I were so impressed with her unique abstract paintings. Most of them focused on women. This painting itself that we're seeing now is hanging in our home here in Arizona. And I remember Claire said she gave special attention to this woman's eyes in the painting because she had seen the world and absorbed the world through her eyes, because this person in her mind was deaf. During the auction in Washington, D.C., Alan was lucky enough to win this painting. And now it hangs in Rochester, New York. This next slide is a painting that we bought because it represented Claire's late husband. She married Dr. Bergman, and his family was destroyed in the Holocaust. And this is a painting representing his family who was lost in the Holocaust. So we think about his family now, and we cry and recognize and remember them when we look at this painting in our home. Next is Roz Rosen. She was born in the Bronx to deaf parents, and she went to Lexington School, and she got her doctorate in education.
Okay.
I hope you saw her interview a few weeks ago. It was wonderful. I'm not going to repeat that information. If you haven't seen her interview, watch it. It's amazing. And I'm going to tell you why I picked Dr. Roz Rosen for tonight's program. She and her husband lived here in Tucson on the next block from us. So we see each other often, and we socialize, and we celebrate holidays together. The next slide, please. Thank you. This is a photo of Roz in the middle, and I'm on the left. We were chair of the Upstate New York Deaf Women's Conference. I wanted to bring deaf women together to be engaged in different speakers. And at that time, deaf women in Rochester really were not leaders yet within the community. So Roz was selected because she did an amazing presentations on a variety of deaf women and different topics. So she became one of my favorite role models because I realized that she was the dean of continuing education at Gallaudet at that time and studied for her PhD at the same time and was married with 3 children. I thought to myself, my God, if she can do that, I should be able to do some exceptional things, except I should be able to do my job and raise my family, but not the doctorate. So I was a mother of 2 children, and that was not thought of before before the conference that women could be leaders. So this is Dr. Roz. Next slide, please. I will end this presentation about Roz with this picture of a tea party. It happened just a month before the pandemic hit us. Look at that beautiful woman, Roz Rosen. Happy Purim, everybody, to all of you. Thank you.
Wow. Vicki,
Woo!
this is very inspiring. And
Wonderful.
I had no idea that my mother was going to be spotlighted like this. So this is thrilling.
Yes.
And I consider her my role model too. And Claire Bergman. Her artwork is beautiful. She's a great painter. You couldn't have picked a better role models than those 2. Thank you, Vicki, so much for your wisdom and your sharing. And what you've contributed to this event.
I agree.
That, I believe we have another amazing woman who will be.
Yes, your mom. Wow, that's your mom. Wow.
Many of us shine because she's a wonderful woman.
Are we going to do the trivia? Yes, let's do the trivia.
Yeah,
With
Sophia,
before I speak. Yes.
Sophia, come on and join us. One of our great,
Ready for the trivia? Are we ready for the trivia? We have a surprise at the end.
Sophia, please join us. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Wait, let me make myself bigger. I can't see myself. Excuse me for these technical difficulties. We're getting there. Okay, so now we have Purim trivia. I'm going to test and see what you know about Purim. I'm going to list the questions, and if you get the answer right, whoever gets it right is going to get a prize, an Amazon gift card. We'll post the question, and then you post the answers in the chat. Whoever gets the answer right first wins the point.
Good job.
We're having technical difficulties. Hold on one more second. Okay, so the first question is, how many chapters are there in the book of Esther? Make a guess and leave your answer in the chat. A, B, C, or D. Who's first? The first one with the right answer is Roxanne Baker. Congratulations for winning $10. Okay, our next question. We have 10 altogether. I'm sorry, the answer is there are 10 chapters in the book of Esther. Okay, second question. True or false? Queen Esther took 1 year to get herself all ready and become beautiful before meeting the king. True or false? Put your answer in the chat. The first person with the right answer is Rebecca Gorlin. The answer is, it's true. She worked for a whole year getting herself beautiful before she met the king. What's that? And our next question. What was the name of the king of Persia in the Purim story? King Ahasuerus, King David, King Antiochus IV, or King Ahab? Leave your answer in the chat. Good job. Most of you got the right answer. But the first person who got the right answer was, let me bring it up. I'm sorry, I missed it. Thank you. Okay, turning it back to Ellen and Susie. That was really fun. Good job, everyone.
My favorite question was about Esther taking 1 year to get beautiful before she met the king. Wow, can you imagine the clothing, the hair? Wow, a year.
And this, again, here's more information for us. So now I think it's,
Spotlight us, Sophia.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing Ellen.
Can you spotlight me, Sophia? Thank you.
Oh, perfect, I can see
Perfect.
you again.
Yay.
But we're not done yet.
There's still more.
We've got one more exciting thing. Vicki spotlighted 2 amazing women, but there are so many more. So we want to show a video that Sophia and her team put together that is really an amazing video of Jewish deaf women that have made their mark.
Here and now. We just talked about Esther and Miriam of the past, but these women are here and now, and you know them. Enjoy the video.
So Sophia, go ahead and show the video, please.
Then we will end with Deborah.
We should have time for that.
Deborah.
While we wait for Sophia, I just want to explain about the video. I want Ellen to explain about the video.
Maybe many of you have heard of her, but maybe you haven't. So Deborah was a judge. She was a woman from the Torah in ages gone past. She followed God's holy commandments, and she was righteous in her behavior. And God saw that. And at that time, when God communicated with people in days gone by, he tended to pick men in positions of power. But he picked Deborah as a judge. She helped solve problems in the community. She was a mediator. And because of her wisdom and her faith in God, she was selected. And it happened that the Canaanite enemies were treating the Jewish people badly, and they suffered at their hands. So Deborah always advised Barak to go after them. And Deborah always did her duty. So she told Barak, God told me that you need to go after the Canaanites. He said, I will not go alone. You must come with me. Deborah was shocked that he wanted her to go with, but she did. But she said, the recognition is going to go to me. Is that acceptable to you? He accepted that decision, and they went together. The Canaanites were destroyed, and Barak won the war.
She was an incredibly strong woman.
One leader of the alliance.
Yeah.
Jael invited, they knew each other. And so they decided to invite him in and offer him milk. He was so tired. The milk eased him on to sleep. And so his life was ended at that time because Jael took care of him, took a hammer and let him have it. After this war was won, the Jewish people were at peace for 40 years.
Wow.
Deborah was a wonderful woman. And there is a statue of her in her role as a judge. She is a role model for achieving justice. And she is our ancestor. She's a woman's role model.
Fabulous. And we have more role models to show you. So Sophia, Ellen, thank you for the story. We'll remember that one. Sophia, let's see our other role models of Jewish women.
I'm going to turn my camera off.
This was fabulous. Thank you.
Bravo.
You are our heroines for sure.
Yes.
Yay.
Many amazing women listed up there that are doing wonderful things in the world. Wow.
That's all we have tonight. We wish you a very happy Purim. Enjoy, remember to keep telling the story of Purim. It's very important to do that year after year. The Book of Esther, talk about the 4 mitzvot, the characters involved. That's what keeps our community going.
And today,
Don't forget your milk and Hamantaschen.
and now it's time to have fun. Put away your work and have fun. Laugh, drink, be merry, play. Whatever you want to do, now is the time. Until tomorrow night when Purim is over.
And of course, this program would not be possible without the Jewish Deaf Congress. Sophie and Sophia for all of the work she did, our interpreters, our captionists. Thank you to you all, and Rav Ellen.
And JRC, you're very welcome. And thank to Suze. Thank
you to all of you for coming.
Thank you to you all. And thanks for Susie for co-hosting with me.
So much fun.
All the planning together. I thought it was a cool program. Happy Purim to all of you.
Purim. Stay connected.
Yes.
Enjoy celebrating.
And support JRC and its growth. There's a website you can look. Donations are possible if you can spare some. And please give to them. They need our support and donations every day. Thank you very much.
Happy Purim, everyone.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Purim. Woo!
So long.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Congratulations. Oh.